tonight, along with those who may be watching via the internet on YouTube, and thank you for your interest in our school system. We are your representatives, and we appreciate you being here. Copies of our agenda are available in the foyer for your convenience. At this time, we'll be on item 7 on the agenda, which is recognitions. And so I'll turn the meeting over to our superintendent.
Good evening. I get to walk and exert some of this nervous energy. I can move around a little bit. All right, first up, we're going to recognize Jackson Stinson. Come on up, Jackson. He's a ball practice. Well, we'll wait till he's available before we recognize him. Come on back, Dad. Proud Dad. Jackson Stinson, we're going to recognize him for receiving honorable mention for all conference honors in wrestling. Congratulations to you and your son, sir. Oh, one more wrestler. Lee Chambers, are you here?
He's not. He's state qualifier.
State qualifier?
Regional qualifier.
You read it here.
Okay. Lee Chambers is being recognized for honorable mention all conference honors in wrestling and also being a state qualifier. He was also a regional qualifier for the high school wrestling program. He was also a team MVP.
How about giving a round of applause? Good job, sir. Thank you. Good sport.
They're terrible for basketball.
Ooh.
So if you want to have a as you call them.
All these basketball.
Mhm.
How you pronounce that?
Sakaya, I think.
And all these basketball.
There's, let's see, basketball.
All these basketball. Okay.
Basketball.
Next, we're going to recognize basketball. Receiving first team Rocky River 2A Conference honors in basketball, Zakara Hickson. Will you please come forward? Is that what I do? Zakaya. I'm sorry, sweetie. Come here. Pronounce it correctly for me.
Zakaya.
Say it again one more time.
Zakaya.
I'm sorry, sweetie. Who brought you here today? Who you want to shout out?
My mom.
Who's your mom?
Felicia Hickson.
Felicia Hickson. I've been on her for many years. Miss Hickson, you proud of this young lady? All righty. Congratulations, sweetie. Stand right there. Angelica Crawford, please come forward. She's where? She's not here? Is the coach here? Come forward, coach. Angelica is receiving honorable mention, all conference honors in basketball. How about giving her a round of applause? Wakiria Little. Wakiria, you receive honorable mention, all conference honors in basketball. How you feel this afternoon?
Good.
You want to give a shout out to anyone?
Yes. My family right there.
Right where? Raise your hand, family. Right. Wait a minute. I see my bank lady there. Can I make a transaction right now? Huh? Not right now? Okay. Are y'all proud of this young lady? All right. Jaden Little. Is that the boys?
He's on the boys.
Oh, no, it's for the girls first. Is this all my girls, Ann? Is all my girls? Okay, let's get a picture right quick. Congratulations, ladies. Let's get a quick picture. Thank y'all very much. Jalen, and Ryan. Okay. All right. boys basketball team. Jalen Little, please come forward. Jaden Little. Come on up, Mr. Decker. We recognizing Jalen receiving first team Rocky River All Conference honors in basketball for being named to the third team All District 8, being one of the 4 underclassmen to make first, second, and third team. Wow. Congratulations. Is that baseball practice? Jalen Harrell? Zaylen. I'm sorry. Zaylen. Zaylen, I'm sorry, buddy. Congratulations. What? Step there. You got to step there. Anson. Peach fuzz, bro. What's all that? What till you get this right here? Any shout outs you want to give this afternoon?
Nah, just my family right there.
I recognize this family already. You have a sister to play out as well? You have a sister to play. All right. What grade are you at?
12.
12th grade. All right. Congratulations, Zaylen. All right. Ryan Robinson, are you here? Ryan's not here. Ryan Robinson receiving honorable mention for all conference honors in basketball. How about giving Ryan a round of applause? Thank you.
And they're girls and boys, so I think girls are first. Janaya.
Let's recognize track. Janaya Maxwell. Are you here? Janaya Maxwell receiving first team Rocky River All Conference honors in indoor track and for being named the Rocky River Conference Indoor Track Athlete of the Year.
What you want me to say? I can't sing.
Shout out anyone in the audience.
Yeah, my mom and Coach Wall.
Where's mom at? Raise your hand, mom. You proud, mom? Very proud. All right. And you want to shout out one more person? Who's that?
Coach Wall.
Coach Wall. Proud of this young lady. Congratulations, sir. Thank you. Stay right there for me, okay? Ooh, how you pronounce that? Oh, that's okay. Patience Maxwell, you here? You trying to look all serious. You can't smile for me? There you go. Patience receiving first team Rocky River All Conference honors in indoor track. Congratulations, Patience. Who you want to shout out today and embarrass a little bit?
My coaches and my parents.
Your parents? Where your parents?
My parents.
Back against the wall. What's his name?
Gabriel Maxwell.
Mr. Gabriel Maxwell. All right. You proud? I hear you. How about giving this young lady a round of applause? She's not here? You know last name? Me either. Let's ask the friend. Who? Lugo. Angelica Lugo. She here? Coach Wall. Angela Lugo receiving first team Rocky River All Conference honors in indoor track. Even though she's not here, let's recognize her by giving her a round of applause. Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone receiving honorable mention all conference honors in indoor track. How about giving Aaron a round of applause? Caleb Gainey receiving honorable mention all conference honors in indoor track. Mr. Laney received honorable mention, all conference honors and indoor track. His mom works down here. I didn't know that. I'm gonna pick her tomorrow. How about giving Laney a round of applause? Ooh. How y'all know I need help? Zariana Little, you here? Softball game? Zariana Little received honorable mention, all conference honors and indoor track. How about giving her a round of applause? Ooh.
That's like
Nice.
the easiest.
That's the easiest?
Yes.
Ooh. And what you said was? Okay. Jemiah Brewer. She here? Jemiah received honorable mention, all conference honors and indoor track. If you give another round of applause, I really appreciate it. Jemiah Brewer. I can do this one by myself. John Tavis Booker. In practice. John Tavis Booker receiving first team Rocky River All Conference and indoor track. Congratulations to John Tavis Booker. Congratulations to all our winter sports athletes. Thank you guys for a good season. We cut up and have a good time, but I'd like to thank you guys for putting forth the effort and thank all the coaches. We really appreciate you. Thank you. If you came in late and you want to be recognized, bring a certificate and I'll recognize you. Huh? Yep, got to redo the photo. That's only fair. Angelica, right? You have a sister? Where's she at? Come on, sister. Angelica Crawford received an honorable mention for all conference honors in basketball. Congratulations. Thank y'all.
Again, on behalf of the Anson County Board of Education, we want to acknowledge the work that our young people have done. You bring pride to our school system and you bring pride to our schools. And we thank you for the interest and the effort that you put forth every day. At this time, we are going to proceed with our agenda. However, if any of you need to leave, now would be a real good time to do it. Thank you. On our agendas, we are at item 8, public comment. Anson County Board of Education welcomes comments from our parents and community. The public comment period is open for members of the public to voice compliments, concerns, complaints about matters of public concern, the performance of school personnel, implementation of board policy, the quality of the educational program or school facilities, and/or other matters. Each person is granted 3 minutes for his or her presentation. This portion of the meeting is for the board to hear matters of interest or concern from the public. However, obscene or vulgar statements, personal attacks, and statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or imminently threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. As per board practice, the board will not address public comment except for clarification until the superintendent has an opportunity to investigate the presented issues and/or the board reviews the issue with legal counsel if warranted. At this time, we have Miss Emily Hasty signed up for public comment. So Miss Hasty, if you'll approach the podium.
Do I just start on my own? Do I just start on my own? Good evening, school board. My name is Emily Hasty, and I am the mother of Griffin Hasty. He is in the 6th grade. I would like to propose the idea of changing the current semester scheduling from traditional to block scheduling. I have recently visited the middle school to see what it is like to be a student. I observed that there is a lot of classwork and other expectations in the 60 to 63-minute core classes. I feel that if the number of classes were decreased, this could help the children complete their work on time and be more efficient in retaining the information that they are learning, as well as give the teachers enough time to instruct more. I would also like to ask the administrators and the curriculum administrators to look at how the teachers utilize Canvas when it comes to the curriculum being taught. There needs to be more information pertaining to the lesson rather than a link to YouTube or the assignment sheet. This is for all the subjects I have looked at this year. An example that comes to mind and has been an issue all year is math. I ask for notes and where I can find instructions to help Griffin. I get told, just go on YouTube and the lesson is there. I don't think this is acceptable as an educator in general. I understand that everything is now primarily electronic. However, if the children use only a Chromebook to do assignments, I would like to see a presentation of step-by-step instructions of the lesson they are learning, specifically math, to ensure my child's learning is being beneficial to him, which leads me to my next concern. I have been told that when students have a substitute teacher, they aren't allowed to get Chromebooks out. I would like to have a better understanding of this, as I understood the purpose of the enrichment class was to get caught up on assignments, iReady, complete classwork, etc. What are the students supposed to do for the last 45 minutes of class for the day? I am also concerned about the frequent turnover that the middle school experiences. I often wonder how we can fix this. Does anyone know the exact reason for the turnover? Do the school board members, superintendent, or principal have a plan to prevent this from happening in the future? It is stressful as a parent worrying if your child will have a certified teacher for the whole year and the years to follow. My son has currently lost 2 of his core teachers in less than 2 months. I simply cannot endure the next 2 years with the worry that my child's education will not benefit him due to the turnover that is being experienced at the middle school each year. I will have to go another educational route for my son so he can sustain stability for the academic growth he deserves. Lastly, I would like to bring to your attention the amount of altercations that take place on a daily basis. This is very concerning as a parent whose child may be in harm's way while being innocent. I understand that fighting can't be predicted nor completely stopped. I would like to see if there's another way to enforce more consequences to help prevent the fighting. Teachers shouldn't have to put themselves in the middle of student fights and risk being hurt or fired because they put their hands on another student. While I solely hardly believe discipline starts at home, I know discipline takes up a lot of the teacher's time to get the class started, only to be interrupted by violence. I appreciate your time in allowing me to express my concerns for Anson Middle School. I know that Anson Middle School has the capability of being a great school with great outcomes. We all just have to work together.
Ms. Hasty, thank you for your comments. May we have your written copy of that?
Sure. I have a copy for everybody if you would like that.
Now we go to item 9, the chair's report. Do any of my colleagues want to highlight one of their visitations at our school?
I guess I had an opportunity to attend the transition fair that was at senior high. And it's basically an opportunity for high school students to disability and their parents. And it was wonderful. I want to commend the staff for the wonderful job you're doing. Other districts is following suit to that. So we want to commend you for what you're doing.
Sorry, I will say that I also went to the transition fair. Well organized, wonderful vendors. The students were wonderful. And I did appreciate being invited to that. Another thing that I got to witness in the last few weeks was the dental van. I've always heard that the dental van has been at our schools, but I had never witnessed it. I mean, that truly is a dentist office. They even have x-rays in there. So I think that's an awesome benefit that we have for our students. So I was just most impressed. And then the last thing I'll say is I did enjoy Read Across America. I went to Wadesboro Primary, and I'm sure several people went to other schools, but that's a great day for our students because they get to see community people. And those people show interest in our schools. It's great for our students. Thank you.
I went to the transitional fair that Mr. Lyles and Ms. Gibson mentioned. It was outstanding. The students, it was for the special education students, and you would not believe the support and the resources that were there to offer opportunities for these students. I saw you come in, Mrs. Stinson, but I didn't get a chance to speak to you. But it was awesome. I think you would agree. And I think Ms. Janice Bennett put it together along with her committee. They did an outstanding job. I was also on your campus again. You didn't see me. I provided breakfast for the early morning athletes. And I thought, they said 7 o'clock. So I thought when I brought the breakfast, they would be eating and then going to do their whatever it is they do. And they had already done it. And they were such nice, I mean, just gentlemen. And they came in and it was just awesome. And I just couldn't believe they'd come out that early. Because I'm thinking they're going, now you can tell I'm a sportster. I thought, okay, they're going to eat breakfast, then they're going to go work out. But no, they'd already worked out and then they ate breakfast. And I did attend down at, and I want to highlight these two events because I think in Anson County, we need to do this more. We need to bring together the community down at Wadesboro Primary. And some of you community people may have been there or somebody from your department. But Carly Gibson, Dr. Gerald is here. That reading fair, Dr. Seuss Day that you all put on, you had representatives from all over the community, different departments. It was awesome. And the same thing with the event that was out at the high school. And I think we need to do that more. Bring people in from all, we had county commissioners, people from the sheriff department, and I don't want to start calling names because I might leave somebody out. But I know we had representatives from all over. So let's do that more.
I was able to attend the job fair at the high school on Friday. I was very much inspired of the opportunities that our children have with the support of their parents and the school working together to be sure that our children take advantage of what is here for them. And I was just truly just overwhelmed you know, how every child can have a job. They had several vendors out there that could meet the need of every child, and that was just so inspiring to me. Also on this weekend, our Sheriff Howe and Gulledge Fire Department was able to visit down at West Creek Church, where we had teenagers and we had children. They had groups where they sit, and he gave them opportunity to speak with the children, and the kids were really inspired. Sheriff Howe, they talked with me afterward, and they was wondering where y'all went to. Is they gone? Is they coming back? And that would just really bless me, knowing that opportunity that we, the resources we have here in this county, and how it can really inspire and energize and just open the eyes of our children, that give them hope for their future. Also, Gullis Fire Department came out and they was able to bring a fire truck, and the kids was able to go out and use the water hose and see some of the things that the fireman does. One thing the fireman explained to me, Chief Darrell, was that children can get burned up a lot of time, because whenever the fireman goes in with all this equipment on, a lot, the fire scares them anyway. But then to see all this equipment come in, they run and hide, but they are the rescue person. They're there to help them. So I thought it was so great for him to come out and share that with them and let them see all the equipment they have on, so that when they do, if it happened to be in a house fire, they know that this is the rescue person. This person is here to help me and not to harm me. So thank you all. This is so great. I'm always inspired when I see the opportunity that waits here in this county for our children.
Yeah. I was a guest reader at Waysburg Primary School for Dr. Seuss's Day, and a judge of the doors. They had some beautiful doors there, and I really enjoyed the class that I was assigned to read too. And I liked the way they did it this year. They had 3 readers in each classroom, and to hear somebody else read and all, that was just, for me, I enjoyed seeing somebody else read it, and the kids did too. And they were smart. I had a tongue twister book that I had chosen, and it was because I was late and that's all that was left. But I think I did a pretty good job reading that book. And they did. I had them to read with me, repeat some of the things, and I mean, they didn't miss a beat repeating what I was reading to them. So I just enjoyed it. It brought back my days when I was working with children.
Anyone else? I just want to commend my colleagues for having these opportunities, because it shows that the board is committed to be involved in the education of our young people. At this time, I need to read the following statement. As the public knows, recently the Board of Education submitted a proposal for bids to build a new middle school for Anson County. That proposal contained a not to exceed clause. However, none of the submitted bids met that requirement. The only way the board can move forward with a new proposed middle school is to acquire additional funding from the state or local government, as state law prohibits the board from participating or entering into any contract until all proposed funds are available. Therefore, the board has chosen to take no action on the proposed bids at this time. We'll move to item 10 on our agenda, Superintendent's Report.
All right. I would like for Ms. Collar to come forward to give us an update on what we're doing in our schools with NC ELA.
Good evening. So we have some exciting work that's been taking place with NC ELA, which is our Instructional Leadership Academy. We have been visiting the schools and conducting district-wide walkthroughs. We've had guests in nationally from that initiative, as well as regionally and statewide experts. We have worked with our principals, instructional coaches, and APs, and we've had district-wide walkthroughs. And that information shows us that we're working hard. A lot of progress is being made. But an area that we really need to focus on is supporting our teachers with lesson planning, effective lesson planning. And we need to work on, as we emerge from the pandemic, using technology appropriately. With that shift, there's an over-reliance on technology, and sometimes we're not checking for understanding. It's really, sometimes we get in a trap with putting children on computers, but not getting the input and of how things are actually going with how students are progressing. And so as a district, we've been reflecting on that. We met with the secondary principals last week. We've been meeting with the elementary principals, and we've talked and had discussions about what is it that we can do to support our teachers, because we know their jobs are hard, and we know that time is limited. And in some cases, teachers don't have planning periods. And so what can we do to make teachers feel like that they are supported 100%? And so in that effort, and with some of the changes taking place in North Carolina, we feel like the best thing that we can do is to provide solid core resources in English and math, where lessons are already identified and that planning piece is done for our teachers so that they can spend their time internalizing the lessons, adding to, and really making sure that that alignment to the standard course of study is there and they can breathe a little bit. We feel like that will help with time, but also with retaining staff. It'll help with burnout, and it will actually help us with recruiting staff. Over the last several years, we know that the state doesn't give us a large bank of textbook funds every year. So we bank those dollars so that we can make those adoption purchases. So tonight I brought with me Miss McLennan. She's been working on math, and so she's going to give you an update on mathematics.
Good evening. Currently, our teachers use the North Carolina Collaborative for Mathematical Learning. And in that framework, although it's aligned to our state standards, we find that teachers find using that framework cumbersome. It's not necessarily user-friendly, although it is aligned. It takes teachers a lot of time to find the resources and use them and plan them out. It takes them a long time to do that. So the framework, though it's aligned, and that's what we have been using, is not necessarily friendly for our teachers that we have here in Anson County. So we are seeking to have content that's more aligned conceptually and follows a scope and sequence, very much so that's laid out that a core program would give us. So this will allow for our teachers to take a more seamless approach in their efforts of teaching mathematics. We have a pilot in 2 of our schools currently using a math program. We started after Christmas, and we're going to see how it goes. We're also getting a using the curriculum guides. We are forming a committee to do research, looking at the ed reports and trying to identify a core math program that would be used here in Anson County. So our next steps is to continue creating that committee and using our NCDPI resources, our mathematics division, our teachers here, our principals, and our instructional coaches to identify that core curriculum that we feel will be most beneficial for our students.
And in the area of ELA, we've had a lot of work done, especially centered around the state switch frameworks. And that's why all of our teachers in elementary have gone through something called LETTERS, which is the science of reading. And so that tells us that we need to have a really heavy phonics-based approach to teaching reading. So most of our teachers are going to be done with LETTERS training at the end of this year. So in considering that, we knew that we needed to adopt a reading approach that is aligned with that. So Miss Angela Adams had a conflict tonight and could not be here, but she has worked really closely with our team and with the Department of Public Instruction, following Board of Education policy, so is Miss McClendon, to identify programs that are research-based. And we started with 3. And really looking at what the research says. Our principals came in, they used a rubric following the science of reading practices and have narrowed it down to 2 programs. Teacher leads at each school for each grade level, department chairs, are coming here Wednesday, and they are going to give their input and vote for a program. We are going to have external stakeholders come and do the same process, as well as send representatives to other counties where the final programs that we're considering to actually go see it be taught before we make a decision. So I want to make it clear that the final programs that are adopted for math or for ELA are not from the curriculum division. We start off the selection of the three based on research, but the finalists will be very much led from our principals and our teachers, and our stakeholders have a voice in that process too. But it's all based upon research. So really next year, our best hope is to really support ongoing with professional development with the program adoptions, but the teachers will be spending their time before they go into a classroom. They still have a part to do in this, like to really go in and annotate those lessons and say, okay, well, this reading passage is about clouds. What could I add in? Could I bring in pictures of clouds? Could we go outside and look at the clouds in the sky? Like, how can I make this engaging? So that they are prepared and they really scaffold if they need to scaffold the learning and really make it exciting for the students. So we're really excited about this initiative. And then the last leg of this is with our science. We met with our core adopted resource for science is Discovery Education. We talked with Discovery Education today about coming in, and they have made a lot of updates. We have their tech book, but also to work with us on doing the same thing, using the tech book to also align with with our lessons for the teachers and pacing so that is done. So we really want to make sure that we're real robust and have a lot of tools for our teachers when they start the beginning of the school year next year.
Are there any questions from the board? I think Doc has a
Yes,
scaffolding
ma'am.
question.
And I vetted this question with the superintendent, but I want to give you an option in answering it. You can either answer tonight or possibly come back in April. How are we scaffolding for our long-term subs? We, like everybody else in the state, has got a plethora of long-term subs. So how are we building scaffolding up under them to help them be successful?
That is a very good question. So right now, our division is working on a plan. We actually call it our Anson County Big Rocks. And one of those plans is to actually work with our long-term subs. And that is another reason we need these resources. So we've been partnering and reaching out with districts like, one of my coaches for NC-ELA, the Instructional Leadership Council. She was a principal in CMS. So if you watch the news for years and years, CMS has had this issue before we ever had it. And they train their substitutes. And so if we have a scripted curriculum, then that's something that we can pull our substitute teachers in with our academic coaches, and we will work with the substitute teachers as well. It also gives us a lot of these programs that we're looking at have a parent resource bank of things, PowerPoint slides and things like that that can be uploaded to our educational programs like Google or Canvas, so that it's not reliant on the teacher to make and create, and it's all been vetted. So that's part of our plan. The other piece of our plan that we're working on, we're not finalized yet, but we're going to have another group of course teachers that will be newly hired, but to bring those teachers in and throughout the year kind of a teacher academy piece and work with them real heavily on base instructional practices from a resource called Teach Like a Champion. And so our subs can really use some of those strategies too.
And also I might add that on my desk, I've had HR and my principals to develop, what do we call that for my subs? A sub packet or a digital sub packet that we're going to lay out for all of our subs beginning of next year. So we have a lot of things going on that's going to help our long-term subs and also our daily subs. That's going to make our lives easier because I don't see our job pool getting any better. So we're taking steps in the Anson County to make our lives a little better. Is it going to be a cure-all? No, but it's going to surely help.
Thank you.
Dr. Truman, that's all I have in my report at this time. I think I may be speaking later on in the agenda.
Does anyone have any question over the other items in the superintendent's report? We're now at action items, item 11 on the agenda. We have 3 under consent items, A01 personnel report, A02 budget amendments, A03 reality work sole source. Do I have a motion to approve the consent items?
Make a motion to approve the consent items.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, how many if you are in favor of approving the consent items on the agenda, please signify by raising your right hand and saying aye. Opposed, same sign. The motion carries and the consent items are approved. We have no old business, so we'll go to new business, and we have item number 1, C01, SPCC Board of Trustees appointment. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to the board that we table that agenda item at this time and bring it back up in April. Can I have a second to that motion? I have a motion and a second. All in favor of tabling that item and bringing it back up in April, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. The item is tabled until April. Now we're at C02, sixth grade placement. I'd like to begin the discussion with some opening remarks. And I'd like to remind my colleagues that the educational landscape has changed in the past 20 years, and parents have many more choices than in the past. I feel it's up to the board to evolve with the times and provide those choices under the umbrella of our public school system. We watched our staff go from total in-person to total remote and then back to total in-person with great ease. They're very competent people. They can accomplish whatever task we set before them. They're good. It's our goal to set the location. It's our goal as a board to determine what our community wants. It's their goal to make it happen. And I have every confidence they can do that. As representatives of the community, we need to determine what is the best educational setting to meet the needs of our students. It is responsibility, again, of the administration, as I've said previously, to carry it out. And before we begin debating this issue, I want to take just a few minutes to discuss each item separately so that the board members can clearly understand the parameters of each option. So the first option that we have listed is the sixth graders return to the elementary schools. And I'll open the floor to any board member who wants to champion that option.
Dr. Truman, I'm in favor of it. Returning the sixth grade to the home school for simple reasons. Parents are in favor of it. We have some problems at the middle school that need to be addressed. And returning those back to the home school would give Mr. Jackson more freedom to deal with the remaining students in 7th, 8th grade. Parents want it. Every parent I've talked to that's called me, grandparents and members of the community, have stressed their desire to have the 6th grade back at the home school. And it's time that we listen to parents. And I'm afraid that if we don't listen to parents, our ADM is going to decrease even more.
Anyone else want to add comments?
I'm in favor of it as well. I think it is something that is necessary at the time. I'm not saying that it's the fix-all, but I do believe that our sixth graders, when they were at the elementary schools, performed better on their end-of-grade testing. I think they performed better as students. I think it would also give us the opportunity to lay more focus on our 7th and 8th graders and to be able to maybe fix some of the woes that Ms. Hasty shared with us that she has concerns about tonight. But I am in favor of it as well.
Anyone else?
I am not for moving the 6th graders back to the elementary school. And I think that the survey that we conducted with students and parents, or just parents, how was it? Can somebody help me out?
Just students is all I remember.
Well, at any rate, the results were that the students would remain at the middle school. Now, while I'm in favor of leaving the 6th graders with the middle school, it appears that we're not going to have a 6th grade, a middle school built with a structure that will house 6th graders anyway. So it appears that we have no other choice. 6th graders are going to be going back to their elementary schools. But anyway, for the record, my choice is to leave 6th graders with the middle school. That's the true middle school concept, 6 through 8.
Vertical planning, horizontal planning, to discuss the curriculum, work together as a. I thought I was speaking loud. Nobody, do I need to go back? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I was speaking loud enough, but I said I concur with Dr. Little so that we can keep our 6th graders, all together in one place. And I think that the teachers would say to you, like they said to me it's been years ago, but I would think that they would fare better if they were together as a grade level, planning horizontally, vertically, talking with the 7th grade teachers and working. That's the way the curriculum is set up anyway. They had to go up to the middle school whenever something came up that they had to talk to the 6th grade or teachers about, or 7th grade teachers about. So it was just better for them to do that. And as Dr. Little said, the true middle grade, middle school concept is 6th, 7th, and 8th grades. And there are some disadvantages, I understand that. But I think the advantages outweigh those disadvantages when you're looking at the teachers and the students. I really, really do. But, that's just my opinion.
Being a teacher, I'm just familiar with K through 5. That's basically it. I can sit here and talk all night telling you why I would like for it to stay, but I won't do it. But it's just, and I talk with other districts and other district people that's in, they is K through 5.
All right, at this time, let's discuss the 6th grade academy and what that proposal is. Mr. McLean, will you lead this one?
Oh, yes, sir. As superintendent, I've heard both sides of 6th graders going back to the home schools. I've heard the conversations that they need to stay at the home schools. I want to bring a different outlook on all the conversations, creating a sixth grade academy where we can give the sixth graders their own building and have a sixth grade academy. I am proposing, school board members, that we take the sixth grade, the current Waysboro Elementary building up on the hill, and we make that a sixth grade academy with the emphasis on CTE, where we have 226 upcoming sixth graders, where we can place them at their own location, and we have our core subjects, and also we can focus on CTE. And that can be a lead into our CTE program at the middle school, at the high school. And also you will say, well, suppose I don't want my child to focus the pathway of CTE. They won't have to, because in my academy, we can also focus on career and college and career, where they have a choice to fall back on. So my vision for the academy could be the core subjects, also CTE initiative, and also we focus on career and college ready. My vision is to send the fourth and fifth graders to the current Waysboro Primary School, make that school a K-5, and that'll be consistent with my other schools, that K-5. We'll make the sixth grade academy up on the hill, and that'll be the only school in the state that'll be a sixth grade academy. When I talk with other people around the state of a sixth grade academy with a focus on CTE, they love the idea. I've talked with my CTE coordinator. She's in the room tonight, and I had her to have conversations with people around the state, and they thought it was wonderful. So all in the night, I want to give my parents and my board members another option of looking at our sixth grade, put them all together, and see how that will work. They will have they will have their own principal, their own staff. They will have their ELA teachers, math teachers, etc. And we'll just focus on CTE. And again, I'm being repetitive. If the parents don't want their child to focus the pathway of CTE, they can focus on career and college ready. We can have college tours. We can have college visits, or we can focus on culinary, drones. So by being the only school in the state of that nature, we can set it up as we would like. Okay. So Miss Stevens, I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second. How do you feel about this idea of the CTE, a sixth grade academy with emphasis on CTE? Will you come forward, ma'am? I'm gonna put you on the spot for about 30 seconds. And the way we'll go about with emphasis on CTE, we'll do modules, and we'll use what we call Paxton/Patterson pathways, and they're using it in other districts. And to be honest, we have not yet seen this in action, but we're going to visit other districts that are using this model in other districts. And we think we know we can pull it off. All we need is board approval.
Yes. So when I heard about this proposal for the sixth grade academy, I thought it was perfect, because it really is. You've got sixth graders who will be able to go into their own setting and become leaders on their own before they go out into the middle school. And they'll set that tone amongst themselves. They get together. They're not separated all over the county. They're together. But what I really like, because I'm a CTE teacher and CTE director, I like the CTE focus, because the students today learn by doing. It's different than when we were in high school, or elementary school or junior high school. Mine was junior high. They learn better. They've had technology devices in their hands since some of them since they were babies. And that's how they learn. When we give them the ability to learn by doing, they learn it better, and they have more fun doing it. And it develops, you were talking about not some kids want to go to college. They don't necessarily want to go out into trades. But the labs that we're proposing, they might be teaching skills, but those skills are skills that develop critical thinking. They're skills that are real world. And even if they don't use them in a trade someday, they may use them in their own household, installing deadbolts on a door. I mean, there's a lot of things, but the idea behind it is if learning is fun, we learn to learn. And the thing about the pathways, we have a lot of pathways out at the high school, and we have a lot of jobs out there that may require a college education. They may not require a college education. But the fact is, students don't know what they don't know. So if we don't give them the opportunity to try stuff, then they just don't. I mean, I didn't know what was out there, and there wasn't half as much as there is today. So, I mean, I can go on for a long time talking about CTE.
You better sit down before that. Before
Yeah,
they ask
you
questions.
said 30 seconds. I think I went over, but is that good?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
And worrying about the numbers at the Waysboro Primary, I've already checked with Dr. Gerald. We have plenty of space if we do go that route for K-5 at the current Waysboro Primary. We have plenty of space out there for K-5 students, and also for the 226 students up on the hill, we have plenty of space to house the sixth grade students. So space is not a problem. And we've already, I've had my staff, my cabinet members also already put together a draft schedule, how the schedule will look if the board chose to go this route. So we've done a lot of the homework, and now we check in on school numbers, school ID. I've met with Mr. Ross to look at transportation, how would transportation look. So we've done a lot of the homework just in case we get the nod to move forward. So
Clay, you did say that this concept exists in North Carolina already.
well, ma'am,
It does not.
we will be the first one to do it in the state. However, everyone I talk to statewide, they think it's an excellent idea. And let's say it doesn't work, but at least we're giving a good, honest try doing something different in the state of North Carolina. But I've talked to educators, DPI, and they seem to think that it's a great idea, and it's something different that we can try here in Anson County.
Well, I just have a problem with you're all saying a focus on CTE. I've heard both of you say that there will be a college pathway, but let's not say we're going to focus on CTE, because we don't want to guide these children to CTE totally. I mean, every child ought to have the opportunity to get a college education, but we also need those students in CTE. I mean, we, couldn't find a plumber the other week. And, we need that, but we also don't need to be gearing our sixth graders strictly to CTE.
Yes, ma'am. And as we stated earlier, as being the first in the state, only in the state, we can set it up as we see fit, and we can also write that into the program that we can do a sixth grade academy emphasis on CTE and a career and college ready. We can set it up as we see fit. That's the good thing about it.
So I have some concerns about a sixth grade academy, one of which is we're creating yet another transition year. If we do that, moving from elementary then to sixth grade academy, and then from sixth grade academy to middle school. So we've created yet another transition year. So I'm concerned about that in what we're doing. I'm also concerned of how we're going to staff it with enough teachers if we're having an issue with that presently. And then I would add, which I think the CTE component is phenomenal, as well as the college ready. But if that's so, why aren't we already utilizing that with our sixth grade as it stands right now? And if we were going to do something like that, couldn't we not have done that currently on our middle school campus? And so, I'm just concerns about those kinds of things. And then I know one of the things that we have on our thing, Dr. Truman, is to talk about whether or not parents would get a choice. So then would we still allow parents the same choice opportunities if the board chose to move that route?
Let me try to answer all those questions. First one was transition. If this concept works and it proves to be effective, I think it's worth another transition if it proves to be working effective for us. Because again, it's something new, innovative, and it works. I think the transition, it'll be worth it. For extra transition year. So if it works, I think it'll be worth it. The second, you mentioned staff. We don't anticipate hiring new staff. We have the staff already within the district. My vision and my thinking is that we will be moving around staff. If we move 200 kids from the middle school, we already have staff that we're gonna have to transition from the middle school to the sixth grade staff. Also, we don't have, we short staff of vacancies, so we have to fill those vacancies. So it would not be adding new staff. We'll just be utilizing staff vacancies that we already have. Thirdly, if we do not go with the sixth grade academy, Ms. Stevens already has in plans of doing this at the level of 6, 7, 8 already at the middle school. Okay, and far as the parents having options of staying, that'll be a board decision of tonight. That'll be the board decision of whether parents go to academy or stay at their school. That will have anything to do with my decision. Did I get them all?
Okay. Skip.
Okay, I was thinking about professional development too, because like has been said before, we're K-5, 6, 8, and 9, 12. So how would we do professional development if we sent the sixth graders back to the elementary schools? Are those, on the days that we're doing professional development, are those sixth grade teachers gonna have to go to the middle school for their professional development? Just another thought.
Okay, I had the most far-fetched option, and that was the parental choice. And as we look at the numbers of students in Anson County and how they've dwindled over time, those students are seeking out other options for education. They're not staying with us. And what are those options that they're seeking out, and why are they doing it? I would like for us to be able to allow parents to choose whether their child should attend the sixth grade at their home elementary school, or my option would be attend the sixth grade academy, provided he would have at least 150 students. And that's sort of the way I look at it as a parent. There's a big difference between a child whose birthday was October the 16th and a child whose birthday was October the 14th. There's a big difference this way. There's a big difference emotionally. There's a big difference in what that child comes to school and is bringing. And I think that we ought to include parents in deciding where the children need to be educated. And if they feel their child will get a better education at their home school, then it's what I want to go for. Now, equally, I don't want to say everybody stays at the home school, because I know there's some parents who have children born on October the 14th who are big, who are ready to take part in many activities, who are ready to leave their home school. So no more than I want to say everybody goes for this reason, I don't want to say everybody has to go for that reason. August 31st, I stand corrected. So if you were born on October the 31st, you start school. If you're born on September 1, I got it wrong, you don't. There's a big difference. There's a big difference. And my option is to let parents have a voice in which school they attend.
There can be one day from a year difference.
As I said before in the preface, I have no doubt in my mind this staff can't do it. They can do it. I've seen them work bigger miracles than that. You may have to have some combination classes if you got a small number of students, but a good teacher can handle a combination class and do a good job with it. So I'm not at least bit concerned with their ability to pull it off. I think we need to give parents an option. And that's my say-so on parental choice. Anybody else want to chime in?
Oh, I totally agree that we should let parents make the choice. And if that's what parents can do, then I can live with that. But I don't think it should be mandatory that they all go to the middle school or the academy. Because you have to consider parts of this county, kids that age, even to the middle school now, are on a school bus up to possibly 3 hours a day if they ride a bus, when you look at the extended parts of the county. And logistics is a big concern for me and parents as well. And when we think about what's happened to our ADM since 2012-13 school year, we've lost almost 800 students. And they're leaving for a reason. And we've always had problems with even before the sixth grade went there, we've always had problems with behavior at the middle school. So if we don't listen to parents and we don't make a change, we're going to lose more students.
So if I'm hearing correctly, should I start preparing for some type of survey for the parents? And what group of parents are we talking about? Are we talking about not voting on night from the board, turn over to the parents, have a say-so in the full options that we're looking at? I need more guidance.
And that's fair. I would say that principals in concert or in conversation with parents would be honest and discuss with them where would be the best placement for them. And they might even want to choose that placement at the sixth grade academy, because I think that's a good option. Or they might say, I would rather my child start out the school year at the elementary school. And the only reason I say you don't swap mid-year is you've already done your staffing, you got your teachers, you got everything set up. It would be hard to restructure in the middle of the year. So you'd have to make that decision sometime in the summer, in time for Mr. McLean to have the data he needs to set up a school system.
And this is me personally, and I know we'll decide this. First and foremost, I actually thought we were going to survey the parents before tonight. So I had expected that we would see that tonight. And so I don't know if maybe I just was misunderstanding with the board, but I did think that we were going to talk about that. Be that as it may, I, for one, cannot support a sixth grade academy when I know right now we have other needs. You know, I think that we need to focus on some type of alternative setting to allow students to be successful, maybe outside of the mainstream public school, until we can find success or help them find success. And until we answer that question, I, for one, don't think I could support an academy. And I am in favor of parents getting a choice. And when it comes down to the end of the day, they have the choice. They can choose to come to Anson County Schools, or they could choose to do something else. And we're thankful and appreciative and honored that they choose Anson County Schools. But I want to honor what their wishes are as well. And what they're seeing right now is that they're concerned. And that's what we're hearing from people. I too like a true middle school concept. But what I'm hearing from folks right now is as long as we have some of the issues that we have, and folks, let's be honest about it. It is not just Anson County. It is nationwide. Nationwide, we know that we have some problems with student performance and behavior, and whether it's COVID related, whether it's, what they're watching on TV, whatever it may be, we do know we have issues. But not addressing the systemic problem, I can't go forward with looking at a true academy type school for our sixth graders. So that's just where I stand tonight.
One correction I want, I'm thinking that we did discuss the survey, because I think I proposed a survey 2 or 3 meetings ago, and I think we want to go to a vote. I may be wrong on that, but I wanted to go to the parents and get some type of vote. But I may be wrong, but I'll go back and check the minutes. But I think a vote and get the parents involved is the way we need to go. That's just.
Absolutely. If there's any parents watching this, they need to get involved. They need to contact the board members. They need to fill the survey out exactly like they want it and what they can live with, because we really can't vote on this but one time.
What I intend to do, but first, I know some people have spoken out on behalf of the middle school. Does anyone else want to speak out on behalf of the middle school option before we start polling? I propose that we poll down to one option and then we vote on that option as a motion. Rather than having multiple votes along, we'll poll down until we see where the consensus is, and then we'll vote for that option. Is that an agreeable path for everybody? I think tonight, as this is the end of March, I think if anything, we've got to be mindful of the fact that it takes a period of time to staff a school and get the people in the school that you want. We need to give him an answer no later than the middle of April for him to be able to pull it off if we postpone it. What I would suggest is that we see where we stand with each option. And then at that point in time, we see where the consensus is and see if that option, the consensus option, gets 5 votes.
Well, I think, we have heard everyone say that we think the parents should have a voice. And how soon can we get a survey out to the parents? Because the parents,
All right,
as Ms. Davis said, the parents have got choices now, and we want them to stay with Anson County Schools.
I have several issues with the parent survey. Not that, now I'm endorsing the parent survey, but who do you survey? I know you surveyed the current 5th graders, but you also need to survey 4th grade parents, and also, we need to do it correctly. Who do we survey? What age group parent we survey? And what goes in that survey?
I would say all parents with 5th grade and below that are concerned about where their children go to school.
K-5. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Turner? K-5?
Yeah, K-5. Give them, well, listen, a lot of them that have 6th grade students have kids behind them coming on up. And, they're going to want the following children to go to the same scenario that the first one goes to. But I will say this. We are losing students. And we need to do whatever we can to keep students here.
If we don't do the survey correctly, we can make a mess of this. So we need to think through that survey. Mr. Swales, how long would it take to put together a survey? I know we can do it within a matter of hours, but the quality survey, your professional judgment, how long?
We can get a survey, compiled in a relatively short time. Getting responses is another thing. If it's, a digital survey.
We'll get us a pencil paper one. I know sending stuff home, not always means to gather information.
Yeah, but if you send a paper home, say a parent doesn't vote more than one time.
Well, I can tell you where the parents in my district want the kids to go to school. So,
Yeah,
survey them, please do. But they want their students, their children to stay in their local school one more precious year.
Yeah, but when you say, and not being combative, when you say my parents, how many? Half, all,
I don't know, not half of them, but everyone that's contacted me, and they had the support of others.
and that's why we need.
A lot of parents really don't speak up because parents, not in Anson County, but across the country, feel that at a certain point, they lose any input into where their child goes to school, and that's not right. The parent should have the final voice of where that child goes to school.
That's why I say this, the survey needs to give the parent to be comfortable enough to tell the truth and fill out a survey, and each parent fills it out one time.
I think that also, and again, in no way indicates a disagreement with what Mr. Turner said, but for us to have comparative analysis, we're going to need some either electronic survey, or we're gonna need some pencil paper survey so that we're comparing apples to apples and oranges to oranges. Mhm. I would suggest we narrow down the field tonight based on what the board members believe.
Are you talking about a vote or just,
Well, what are the two options that are the most, or gain the most support? Let's get down to two options, and then we'll give him a chance to survey, and then we can look at it in April.
okay, you're talking about the options we look at tonight, and then we'll go well, my first option is sixth grade return to elementary school. And then my second option would be parent choice to stay at the sixth grade or go to the academy. And that still gives a parent a choice. But my first choice, yesterday, today, and tomorrow, is stay at the elementary school.
Return to the elementary school, or I like to try that sixth grade academy, give them that choice. Yeah.
Also, first is sixth grade stay at the middle school and the sixth grade academy. Piggyback on why not let teachers survey?
Mhm.
I say, sixth grade academy or stay at the middle school. But again, I want to hear a parent survey, and I want to know what the parents want.
I would like to say that the sixth graders stay at the middle school, the academy.
First choice would be for sixth graders to stay at the middle school. Second choice would be parent choice to stay at the elementary school or attend the sixth grade academy.
I think they should have the option to stay at their home school or what else, because they're going to take an option. And in the part of the county I live in, with proximities, have borders with Stanley, Union, and Stanley, Union, and Stanley and Union. So the students there, families in my district have a lot of options. And you can look at the ADM at Anson Elementary School over the years and tell they have taken those options. And I would like to give them an option that was appealing to them to stay at home.
I thought I said parent choice to stay at the elementary school or attend the sixth grade academy. That was one I said. And then I forgot what the other one was. Do that, stay at the middle school. Yes, parent choice to stay at their elementary school or attend sixth grade academy.
What if we left the
That's the
parent
first one.
choice as an option off of it and just choose between the three? And then the parent choice will just be an option that we give them, period. Because it sounds like.
So the three options then are choice, sixth grade academy, or Ted Middle School. What information do we need to move forward now? I think the business is we want to see some survey. And what is the information you want from the survey?
I mean, you have three options here.
That simplifies things.
Well,
All right,
four
cabinet,
options.
take
but-
notes on what goes in the survey, if you would, please. My cabinet,
But-
please take notes what goes in the survey.
Well, you could just make a copy of these four, CO2, and send it out. Take your choice.
Well, what we're saying, basically, is we understand at the elementary school, because they have a choice. If they want to stay at the elementary school, they can.
That's right.
So we don't really need that as an option.
But
I think you leave, stay in the elementary school, an academy, or stay in the middle school.
That's right.
Just give them those three, knowing that this is, they're making a choice, and then let them choose between the two. Then they can choose, and then we can choose later on. Then the board can choose, if we're gonna give them the choice of deciding.
Well, I think also what comes into play is the numbers. So I think it would help him if he knew how many at Ansonville want to stay at Ansonville, how many at Liesville want to stay at Liesville, so that he'll understand where his numbers are.
Yes,
Can't
because
you
if I don't have,
provide that, Pete? Can't you provide that information from each school?
yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I asked you that.
If we do it, a survey based on, digitized with you have to have a student's number in order to complete the survey, then yes, we have their demographics.
Did I understand correctly that you said if we do a digital survey because the grade level is on there, that we would know how many at each school according to that survey?
We can separate it out at that point. Once you identify who you are, there would be no anonymous submission.
So then we go back to, how many want to stay at the elementary school? How many want to try the sixth grade academy? And how many want to stay at the middle school? But let me ask this question. If we do the sixth grade academy, does that preclude anybody from playing middle school sports?
That's the one question I need to check on. But if a sixth grader stays at the home school, they can't play sports at the middle school, correct? So if they are at the academy, it's gonna be the same rules applied that I imagine.
Do you know that for a fact?
No, but I'm gonna
I
check.
think
on that.
that's something we need to know, and I think that maybe you
I'll check on
alluded to
that.
that the other day, Dr. Truman, when we were talking that, about sports, but, I don't
It
see
would-
why you couldn't play
do that
sports.
now. The
Great.
early college students can participate in sports at the high school, but that's North Carolina High School Athletic Association standards. I don't know about the middle school. I just don't know.
Now, if we make the sixth grade a part of the middle school, if we make the sixth grade academy part of the middle school, as it is now, they can participate in anything except football. If our concept is we make the sixth grade academy a part of the K-6, they cannot participate. But keep in mind, this is the first one of the state, so the superintendent should have say-so in the configuration of that. So that's what we got to check on. This is the benefit of having something new, and you don't know which way that pendulum gonna swing unless we ask questions.
And
So
we,
therefore, I can't give you answers right now.
I think we talked about the CTE component And that basically means hands-on. And so we've done a lot of hands-on instruction in our schools in the past. And so I don't think that CTE as such means a separate course of study. I think CTE in this regard means a modality, how you're going to teach your children. And you're going to give them physical objects to work with. It's going to be predominantly hands-on learning, which is good for your kinesthetic learners. So I'm not afraid of hands-on. The CTE label may be a misnomer. It may lead you to think that it's not normal instruction when it is. It's just a modality of instruction.
All right, and we can change that to career and college ready. So we can manipulate that to our preference. And that came up in my meeting tonight. So we can it's going to be introduction to CTE. We can do introduction to college career. So we can manipulate that to satisfy both sides. So I'm not worried about that piece.
So I pose the board this question. If we survey the parents of fifth graders, are you saying we should survey any other grade? Rising sixth
Parents
graders.
with a fifth grade child should be able to, anybody in the household upcoming, you can't survey everybody, but I think you could do it for like 3 years out. If you have a child in kindergarten up to the fifth grade, then you should be in that survey. That gives more people an opportunity to be heard for now and for a later date.
And I think also if the younger you get in your survey, the more skewed your results are going to be, because people are looking at their children as they are right now, not where they'll be at the end of the fifth grade. So that's my alarm to take my pills, but we'll just pass on that. So if we're going to agree that we're going to survey only the fifth grade. And as I understand, we're going to ask, Ms. Davis, would you repeat the three options again? So from the ones that assume to say that they want to stay at the sixth grade academy, we're going to assume that those people want choice. Is that a correct statement? I see it differently. I think we should have choice down there as one vote, sixth grade academy as a vote, and middle school as a vote.
But see, I don't think choice, I don't think that you would see choice as that, because right now choice isn't staying at the elementary school. Right now it is going to Anson Middle School or the academy. And so if you don't put on there the choice to stay at the elementary school, I don't think it would be perceived as a choice.
Yeah, it would clearly state this is a choice to stay at your elementary school serving your attendance area for your sixth grade year.
Well, I'll tell you the truth.
Ma'am, well, thank you for your comment, but we're in session right now. Go ahead.
And we also must remember that back when we did have that, the first year that we did the sixth graders, we gave them the choice to stay. And, some of the schools didn't have enough students to have a sixth grade class. So that would be something else we'd have to think about, because I know one school had like 5 sixth graders. And so we put them at another school. So we will have to think about that too, but that's not going to hinder what we're saying. But that just popped in my mind, and I thought, we did have to move some around.
What school was that, Miss Gibson? Had the
I
5
know Morgan
students.
didn't have enough.
Well, Well, we're getting sort of confused.
What I'm trying to narrow us down to is what questions do we want to ask to make sure we get the data we're looking for?
Also, Dr. Truman, if I might throw in now, we also got to look at if we give parents a choice, and I'm all for choices, if we don't have enough to attend the academy, I'm about to take the academy off the table because I have to have enough students in order to run the academy.
And I thought about that. I thought to put a caveat with a choice, provided you have at least 150 students at the sixth grade academy to make a school.
I kind of have a problem with that, with just surveying sixth grade parents, because it seems like a small sample is making such a major decision for, students who are in the fifth grade, fourth grade, third grade, who are coming up. But if we just survey present sixth grade parents, that's a big decision for a small sample, to me, my opinion.
That is true, and that's what you'd have to look at when you look at the data, the number of respondents that you had. But on the other hand, Dr. Little, I would think that the younger you chose, the more likely the response is going to be stay at their elementary school, because they're looking at a fourth grader and they're saying, I don't want them to leave Liceville. I don't want them to leave Ansonville.
Well, I think the survey should be with elementary school parents, not just the fifth grade. That's going up, not the fifth grade students this year that's going to be going to sixth grade next year, because you have a rising fifth grade, or, it's going to be, make a decision now that's going to last for a few years.
And thank you, because I said sixth grade. I should have said fifth. Thank you.
But we have talked so much, even got me confused.
That's not easy to do, Mr. Turner.
No, sometimes it gets a little more difficult than other times, Dr. Truman, but we're talking about several different things, and we need to simplify it and let parents make a simple choice, and they'll make it. I don't know.
Do you think parents need to be able to make one choice, or should parents be allowed to make two choices?
I don't know. But here's the thing, with the sixth grade staying at home, we'll see the current elementary school, and an option go to the academy, that's a choice. But I do think that we need some separation, in age groups.
I think what about this? To get the clarity that we need, we survey the parents with all four options, and then we table this issue until the April 20th meeting.
I'm good with that.
Right now, we're at this, to be clear, so the thing that we're going to survey all four options. And we want to do it through the computer, and ask our principal to be very diligent to get as many responders as we can, so we'll know how clear the data is. And then we're going to table this item until our budget meeting in April. And then hopefully we'll have the data we need to see which way the majority of our parents would like to go.
That's the question.
That's the last one we haven't hashed out yet.
Okay.
I would say sixth grade,
Sixth grade parents.
rising sixth grade parents.
Rising.
Current fifth grade, rising sixth grade.
Well, Dr. Truman, that's eliminating that to just 1 year. But if that's what the board thinks best, I can live with that too, because we might have to do the survey again next year, but that'll be fine. I'm all for that too. But I think if somebody's got a fifth grader coming up next year and they have a third grader coming up, I think they know.
And again, where I'm coming from, if the farther down you go, and just to make this look too far out, obviously, if you surveyed kindergarten parents, you're gonna get 100% say they want to stay at elementary school. So the younger you go, you're gonna skew the result. But then I throw out another option. Why don't you survey current sixth graders? If they had had the option, which one would they have chosen?
It would probably be the majority of the parents. If you want to talk about the parents of the student, I'll say the parents would say stay at the local school.
I think if you survey.
You don't know what you're gonna get.
If you survey the students, you're going to get an entirely different answer than what you get if you survey the parents.
Well, we did that.
I have a question.
We surveyed students and they wanted to stay at the middle school.
Ms. Collin, the survey we did last year, we surveyed parents, students, and last year.
Yes, sir. So we have that data that can probably reshare. The only thing that
While you're coming up there, did I hear you say we surveyed more than just students?
I believe so,
I
but,
do too.
but again,
I do
that's
too.
been a year ago. So the one thing that I would caution is to think about administering any survey that's done with equity. And this is something we learned with the pandemic. Not everybody has access to technology. We know that with Wi-Fi access and whatnot. So, especially when you start to consider multiple grade levels, and I mean, you're the board, you make the decision. But what we had to do during the pandemic is make phone calls. So, when a kid they didn't have a family member that would answer for them, we had to have homeroom teachers call that family and input a response, because you want your data to be clean and accurate. So you want to make sure that you have representation to make sure that your results are clean and accurate. So that would be the only thing I'd have to add when doing surveys.
And my next comment, how far down do we go if we're gonna build a new middle school? How far down, are we not planning to send the new students, sixth grade, to the new middle school? Or are we planning the sixth grade to stay at the schools forever? That's another factor we're not considering. So how far down do we plan going to the home schools?
We're not building a middle school to house the sixth graders, correct?
How far down do we survey?
I wondered if we just surveyed 3, 4, 5. That's kind of that second layer that gets away, Dr. Truman, from that kindergarten parent as you were talking. But if we did third, fourth, and fifth grade parents, I don't think we survey the students right now. I think we talk to parents, because, ultimately they're the ones who are going to make the choices. And then I would also add that I agree, Ms. Collard, we need to be sure that this survey is something that's accessible, and it needs to be accessible in other languages. So we need to be certain that we're providing this in Spanish.
Okay, there's a list of every fourth, fourth, and third grade student in each elementary school, aren't they? Yeah, they're there. Is there that much trouble to get up with them?
Can be.
Yeah.
I think this discussion is primarily to determine what data that you feel comfortable making the decision on.
Once do we just not, can we not do teachers, survey our teachers, because they the one that be doing the work?
Again, I feel like there's information that you need all the information. Back previously, when we sent the sixth graders to the middle school, there were 3 schools were not given a choice. Lysville, Morven, and Waysville Elementary, they were not given a choice when the sixth grader was sent to the middle school. I just think I need to put that out there. The other schools were given a choice. I don't know the background history because I wasn't superintendent then, but I just need to throw that out there for transparency's sake. But we have principals in the audience, and I don't know if they know the history behind it.
I
It
agree
was
with Mr.
because of
Lyles. I
numbers.
wouldn't
It was
mind
because
having
of
the
numbers, right?
teacher's
Ms.
opinion
Pratt?
on this.
Because of numbers.
Middle school.
I don't know whether anybody knows the answer or not. But how many students in the Morgan School District go to Chesterfield or Terrell? Anybody have any idea?
Well, if you look at the numbers, a lot. So tell us what you're gonna survey.
I'm going to survey what the board directs me to survey because I work for it. At your pleasure. We can set the survey up however we're told to set it up.
What if we surveyed the 4th and 5th grade parents, knowing that it would be at least 2 years before we were able to get into a middle school if we were to start building today? So that would really get to that age group of student. Then at that time, if we only build the middle school to house 7th and 8th, then we're going to have this conversation again. But at least we know that we're that much further down the road and we can get a survey. So if we do 4th and 5th grade parents, and Mr. Lyles, I don't have a problem with asking the teachers either. I mean, I'm okay with that as well. But then knowing that we're going to have to probably have some other kind of conversation again when the new middle school is built, especially since we know that we can't right now house that age group.
So 4th and 5th grade and the teacher, and we're gonna give them 4 options?
Well, if we know in 2 years, we're gonna have to move them anyway. Why don't we just leave them there now and not put off the,
Not if you have the 6th grade
Activate.
academy.
It's
You
not- there's
still
not
have
really a
that option.
decision.
Let's recap for clarity. All right, we're gonna do a online survey of parents and teachers in the 5th grade. We're gonna give them 4 options.
4th and 5th grade.
Fourth and fifth grade.
Oh, excuse me, that's right. We're going to do an online survey of 4th and 5th grade parents.
Dr. Truman, I thought about the phone calls that Ms. Collins said. We're gonna use the phone calls too?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, is that what you mean, covering?
And I ask our principals to supplement by phone calls any families they know that do not have the internet or who, for whatever reason, don't participate.
So everyone on the roster, we want a vote from,
If
response
possible.
from.
Mhm.
Okay.
And would like to have this data by April 20th.
Take your Easter break, principals.
And be sure that it's in a format that all people can read it, so it's in other languages.
If it's possible to get it in the same format as the previous one, just so we can make comparisons with how things might have changed in public opinion since that time and this time. Right, and the fact that we didn't survey everybody last time is gonna make you can forget that because the data will not be comparable anyway.
Some parents might find the parent choice to be a little confusing. Parent choice to stay at their elementary school or attend 6th grade academy. So are you saying to me that I have the choice to leave my child at the elementary school for sixth grade, or I can send my child to the sixth grade academy. But that's where it's stated. That's why I'm saying that can be confusing.
No.
All right, so at this time, I'll entertain a motion to table this item until April the 20th. Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second to table this item till April the 20th. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Opposed, same sign. The item is tabled. We have a motion to do a parent survey so that we can get the data we need to make this decision. Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor of a survey at this time, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Same, opposed, same sign. The motion carries and we will do a survey. As you understand, trying to do the people's business is not always easy to do, but that's what we're attempting to do. And we thank you for coming. And we do take your comments and your suggestions at heart. Thank you again for coming tonight. We are going back to closed session. So, again, thank